perspective. A lovely evening to all. A Japanese proverb reads, vision without action is a daydream. Action without vision is a nightmare. I'm Professor Ratna, faculty of GIBS Finishing School for the team GIBS Business School, Bengaluru. Today, we all are connected virtually for the GIBS Spreading Light of Knowledge webinar series on the topic, the importance of finance in starting a startup. On behalf of GIBS Business School, Bengaluru, I welcome all the participants to this webinar. Before we start, kindly allow me to say a few words about GIBS Business School. GIBS Business School, GIBS, Global Institute of Business Studies, a part of Goel Educational Trust, is an exclusive business school. Located in the IT and BT capital of the world, Bangalore, GIBS is an institute of international educational standards. GIBS Business School PGDM and BBA program are the cutting edge programs with a difference. GIBS has introduced a series of free national and international level webinars, leadership talk series, panel discussions on trending topics called GIBS Spreading the Light of Knowledge. Through this GIBS Spreading the Light of Knowledge webinars, panel discussions, and leadership talk series, GIBS aims to bridge the gap between the classroom learning and the ground realities of the business world by inviting national and international thought leaders who are industry experts, academic luminaries, and entrepreneurs to share the vast array of challenging experiences. These talk series are spread over the course of the entire year. Not only do these sessions inculcate a strong productive relationship between the academia and the industry, but also provide students an opportunity to gain crucial insight into the present market trends, operational challenges by learning from the industry stalwarts themselves, even before stepping into the industry. Forbes India magazine, yes, Forbes India magazine, the world's top leading business magazine, has featured us, GIBS Business School, as the New Age Business School 2021. GIBS is excited to share that it is ranked as the 11th best top emerging B School of India for BBA by Times of India B School survey. So without much ado, I welcome you all once again to this webinar. I deem it my privilege to welcome Mr. Dhanush Kodi, sir, the resource person of today's webinar. Sir, we are really glad that you accepted our invitation to grace this webinar. Happy to welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much, and really good to hear about your ranking of the GIBS, and I'm sure all of you guys very rightly deserve
so it is always in collaboration with the experts like you, sir. So I'll continue. Today's webinar topic is the importance of finance in starting a startup. For all startup companies, financing always ranks a high priority for the small fish trying to make it happen in the big pond of business, and is without a doubt at the center of gravity for the startup world. Finance is just as vital for the survival of a startup as food is vital for the survival of a human. Before handing it over to the session to Dhanush Kodi, sir, I request Mr. Sandeep Bansali, Head Operations GIBS, to introduce our esteemed resource person to the session. Sandeep, sir, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Indeed, it's my honor and a privilege to welcome Dhanush Kodi, sir. Sir, if you give me permission, I would like to introduce you with your due permission. A few lines I would have to speak about you because when I go through your profile, it's been a lot of achievements, a lot of industry exposure which you carry with you, and it is really an honor to have you today, sir. So without much ado, I would introduce Dhanush, sir. So Mr. N. Dhanush Kodi is a financial professional with about 22 years of experience in the industry, with about 12 years of experience in the leadership roles and about a decade of consulting experience. His corporate experience in finance is as follows. Sir has been for 20 years in HAL as an head of finance. He was a part of the light combat aircraft, and he was also a part of 3-member evaluation team for his 48,000 crores, that's 12 billion SU aircraft project. Sir has worked for a couple of years even in Wipro as service delivery leader for 2 high-profile clients, managing a team of 500 people, and successfully led transition of the third largest American retail client's operation in just 4 months. In both HAL and Wipro, he was an internal subject matter expert for training of managers on financial management, project planning, management, IFRS, global business. Sir has given 10 years of experience for management consulting, training, and mentoring these startups. He is also a founder director of Biz Catalysts Management Consultant Private Limited, which is, I mean, the website, if you see bizcatalyst.com. So he's been an angel investor. Sir is an investment advisor and conducted about 400 plus training programs for entrepreneurs. As a part of IBM's initiative, trained entrepreneurs in Karnataka on financial management, costing, working capital management, trained a set of Germans and Indian experts who have been part of the Germans' government green initiative in India on better performance with better teams. Regular training programs to the officers of bank on better customer engagements, managing NPAs, better risk assessments. Sir is the resource person for a lot of institutions like IIM, IIT, VIT Vellore, Sastra University, Tanjavur, Cambridge Group of Institutions, and many, many, many more. And he's also been a faculty member for the Executive MBA distance learning programs of Madurai Kamaraj University, Pondicherry University on various topics on finance and management. I'm very, very happy to say this, that he's also a virtual CFO for few startups, tech companies, and SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises. So when sir has such a vast experience in terms of the finance and in the industry, I'm sure you are the masters of masters, sir. So we want to hear from you without much delaying it further. I want all our participants to take the privilege, and you can shoot your questions, or probably you can just put your questions in your Q&A sessions, which we can take it at the end of these sessions. So I'm sure this time is not your spending. I'm sure you will be investing your time for next about an hour's time, and we will utilize it to the maximum, sir. We welcome you to the webinar, sir. Thank you so much for accepting us.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Sam.
Thank you, sir.
In fact, you made me feel much better than I did earlier in the day. Thank you so much. And there are some interesting Q&A. Somebody saying they're exiting the session. I'm sure there are plans to have a good evening. Let's wish them well. And yeah, there are 5 participants that have raised hands. If they have anything in particular which they want to address, maybe let us take them first, and then we'll launch ourselves into the session. I'm absolutely okay to see the raised hands. We have Rajiv, we have Danish, Anu, Mahalakshmi, Rohit, and Dr. Bashir, Abhishek. These are the hands raised. In whichever order you guys want, please go ahead and say whatever you want to say. Ask whatever you want to ask. If there is something particular, oh my God, there are so many hands getting raised. So let's start somewhere quickly. Yeah.
Sir, probably in case, since it is in a webinar session, they can put the Q&A in the Q&A section.
Yeah.
So I'm sure sir will take up that.
Not a problem. We'll do that. Yeah.
Sure, thank you.
Now, am I allowed to use share the screen?
Yes, sir. You can.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir,
Okay.
we can
Okay.
see.
Okay. With the permission of the organizers, the heading that was given to me was startup, but I felt that instead of restricting it only to startup, why not touch upon the wider scope of business, and then jump into the startup kind of things. Hope you guys are okay with that.
Yes, sir.
And
Absolutely.
anytime any of you want to say something, add something, if you have a different perspective to offer, or if you feel more clarity is needed, stop me then and there. Maybe if it is okay with the organizers, unmute your mic, ask the question. We can roll as we go by on that. So
Certainly, sir. Certainly.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't know if this makes any sense. We have a normal, regular business person who buys oranges in bulk, sells them in retail at 100% markup, meaning buying it for $50 and selling it for $1. this is how, the whole business has all been operating primarily in the trading. For us to understand the startup ecosystem, we might have to really appreciate the key differences between a businessman and an entrepreneur. And there are so many ladies. Let me make it very clear. Businessman means business person, includes equally the women as it does men. So the difference between here and here is, this is plain simple trading happening, buying and selling. Here, an entrepreneur, what he does differently as compared to a business person. While oranges are bought, what is getting into the ultimate consumer's hands is not plain simple orange. It is bottled, ready to drink juice. Ultimately, people get oranges, buy oranges primarily for getting the benefit of the juice, which is what an entrepreneur offers, meaning there is a good amount of value added here. There is a good amount of processing happening, which converts the oranges into juice. So if at all one is looking at what is the secret sauce of difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur, it is offering a lot more value than the product that originally came into their organization. And now we have yet another newer category that is gaining a lot more popularity. Infopreneur. What an infopreneur does is he provides knowledge on how the orange gets processed, in some cases preserved, and made into juice, as the technology for doing that is what is made available as an information, which is what, is the next level of evolution in the entrepreneurial journey, more popularly nowadays getting called as knowledge partners and thought leaders. They are called infopreneurs. What they have as a specialty is the knowledge to do specific things. Now, let us get into the key difference, if at all we have any. Do any of you want to say something on, are there any differences between any typical business or an entrepreneurship? Now, when we talk about a business, we are talking about traditional business. And we all know, right from the barter system started thousands of years back, business has been evolving, particularly trade has been evolving. Then came in missionary. Yeah, Om Prakash wants to say something. You want to say something, Om Prakash? Okay. So
Yes. Can you suggest some of the most eminent financer who can finance my idea without not much hectic efforts?
Well, I think if you are not willing to put in hectic efforts, forget becoming an entrepreneur. Eminent or other financiers apart, let me be absolutely, candid on things. Any entrepreneur will have to be ready to not sweat it out. They need to be ready to blood it out. So if somebody is looking at effortlessly doing things, well, not going to work in an entrepreneurial journey, not going to work. Let me make it very clear. Thank you for sharing the question. Yeah. Now let's jump back into, what typically we all have seen as the traditional business. It started with trading, then it moved on to manufacturing. And when we talk about trading or manufacturing and saying that it is typically old-fashioned, a lot of them have been family-owned and run by the families, and most of them did not have anything unique. The only unique thing which was there in the traditional business was the ability to take risks and then start a business. And the ability to take risks and start a business resulted in their ability to raise funds to, make that business grow also. So if at all there was anything unique in the traditional business, it is that. Now, they ran their business typically from only one place, one location, one geography, one set of premises. They have been, later, at least during the past 80, 90 years, growing to larger businesses, multi-locations, and all of that. But one key thing that still drives traditional business even today is it's usually labor intensive. As compared to that, when we want to map how entrepreneurship differentiates itself from a typical traditional business, there is something totally new. When we say totally new, that was non-existent in its existing offering as compared to how it was earlier. I'm sure all of you youngsters are aware of things like Uber, things like Tinder, things like even the Zoom platform on which we are having this session, were all non-existent in the traditional business. That is what is the key difference between the traditional business and the entrepreneurship. Something totally new. And it's going to be intensely tech-driven. And when we say intensely, the lifeline of the business, in fact, Professor Ratna was mentioning about money is the life. I would rather say, life of the business in today's world is not really money, it is the technology, and that too internet-based. And any entrepreneurial venture or entrepreneurial activity needs to be scalable to grow extremely fast. And we are not talking about year on year 4%, 5% growth. We are talking about within 3 years growing 5x. From the initial beginning of the idea onwards, the whole orientation is to start the whole business activities as a corporate entity, as a company, with all the legal compliance angles attached with the company falling in place from day one. Well, I will have to keep repeating this. Entrepreneurship differentiates itself from traditional business only with the help of the uniqueness of the ideas which are going to be innovative. When we talk about very largely scalable, we are talking about multi-locations and even global. Does it mean that it's not going to require the manpower? No, it's going to still require manpower. If you really look at the Amazons or the Swiggies or even the Uber, Ola, we require the manpower to make the last mile linkage. But the key driver is the technology which links up the supply and the demand side. So when we talk about entrepreneurship, that is where the startup ideas come. That is where in today's world, we are looking at things that were non-existent a few years back. We keep looking at them, we keep using them, and we are also very quick in adopting them as though, it's, well, our nature. So that is the key difference in entrepreneurship. It's important for us to understand the difference between typical business and an entrepreneurship, because the traditional businesses, traditional businesses have traditional sources of money. But the entrepreneurship is something, the money that was required, right from, the late 90s. That is when, the today's giants of, Alibaba.com or Google or Amazon or PayPal, all of them came in. In fact, there were no business models that existed in place of those particular business ideas where they were trying to enter into the business world. So none of the traditional models were making any sense to raise funds. So they had to go to entirely new sources of funds. We will come to that in a bit. The traditional businesses, well, we have the bank loans, we have the term loans, we have the loan against properties, we have, multiple other time-tested sources of money that is available. Not here. This is very, very unique. This is a completely alien animal. The key legs of a startup for entrepreneurs to take note of and build. The number one point is the offering or the idea. The number two, the second most important, aspect which the entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs need to factor in the whole scheme of things is a right set of founders. Not one, at least two. If there are, depending upon the complexity of the operations, depending upon the range and the depth of activities that are going to be there, it can be more, but at least two founders. And the next big thing that is required is first the availability of market. The founders need to find out what is the target market, and then the ability to market their idea or offering to reach it into the market, which is what marketing is all about. And of course, money. The founders may not necessarily have, the money that is required. Rajiv Balakrishnan wants to ask a question. Go ahead. Can somebody help me with that? What is that? Let me see.
Yes, sir.
I'll read out.
Yes,
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm seeing that, Rajiv. Let me read it in the answer. Is there any way for conventional businesses to flourish in today's world? The answer is yes, but they continue to, if at all, they continue to run the traditional businesses only the traditional way, without bringing in today's technology, today's better ways of doing things. The traditional businesses would disappear. Now, just to add a couple of more points on that, Rajiv, I do not know if you guys follow business news that comes out of, the Europe and the US. The concept of malls that we see big time in India now for the past almost a decade had existed in, let's say, in the US from the 70s, 80s onwards. Over the past decade, 1/3 of the space which was occupied by various retailers in the malls have stayed vacant. They are going online. The biggest of the retailers in the US, like the J.C. Penney, the Target, even the Walmart, they are all closing down large stores, making them into smaller, customer satisfaction centers, and offering online ordering and delivery at the place of convenience. So all these are old traditional businesses. If at all they have to survive, they need to meet the requirements of the customers that are becoming different. Today's customers are looking at faster, better, and more value for their time, money, and efforts. If a traditional business is not able to provide the faster, better, and more value for the customers' money and efforts, the traditional businesses are going to disappear. Another example is banking in India itself. Earlier, people they were required to go to a bank for transferring money or for getting a demand draft. Today, with the mobile, we get all our banking requirements met. When I say all, I mean all. Every one of us, I'm sure, use all the modern tools that are available in NEFT, RTGS, UPI. These are all the add-ons that have come on the traditional banking platform. So Anything and everything, the traditional businesses that existed cannot continue to exist if they do only the traditional thing. They need to bring in technology. There may be some exceptions. There are some specialty, you know, businesses, for example, wine making, diamond cutting, cheese making. These are some of the, businesses that earn big bucks globally. Some of the processes, if they continue to be traditional, they get a premium pricing. But still they use technology for supply chain and logistics and reaching them down to the customers. But some of the processes involved in making them might still continue to be traditional. So pure play, out and out traditional only, not going to happen. So that's a good question by the way, Rajiv. Now, when we talk about startups, jumping a lot deeper into the startup things, well, there are 5 points that are going to come. The screen anyhow says that. So what are the 5 points, if at all we have to look into that? Let me tell each and every one of you today, there is enough and more huge, vast sums of money is available for a good startup idea. Any number of ideas, there is enough and more money available, particularly in India today. So this is the right time for entering the startup world. Whatever you might do, this is the right time for doing that. There is enough and more money is available. If somebody is telling that no, money is not available, well, don't believe them. Enough and more money is available. Those of you who keep reading business newspapers would have read, big names that have been raising funds, billions of dollars valuation, unicorns, are continuing to raise funds. Byju's, for example, they are going ahead with the next round of raise. A few $100 million. Indian company operating in India. Enough and more money is available. But the key is this: the idea needs to be unique. The idea needs to be unique. Ensure that, copying an idea which has been brought in by somebody else. Raj Kiran, yeah, what do you want as a question, Raj? Let me look at the question. Okay. Yeah, you are welcome, Rajiv. I thought Raj Kiran asked a question. What is that? I'm not seeing the question.
I think he's just raised the hand. Probably he might write down the question, sir.
Okay, there are a few questions. Can you suggest some of the most okay? This I thought I've answered. You forget about the eminent financiers. Make your idea worthwhile. Everybody will come to you. Everybody. Let me promise. And if at all any young person today needs to ask a question like this, let me introduce a very important tool to them. www.google.com. Try that first. Is there a way for, yeah, I think we have answered all of that. Okay. Why do so many businesses fail? That's a very important question. That's a very, very important question. Let me take that now. The fact of the matter is 90% of the startups fail. Not many. It is 90% plus. Why do they fail? Most of them fail on account of any one of the 3 reasons. Number 1, they do not know how to manage money, how to manage business is the number 1 reason. A classic example, a company that was valued at $47 billion today is valued at a fraction of that, 1/6 of that, $8 billion. WeWork. $47 billion was the valuation. Today, as it is at $8 billion and falling. There was enough and more money available, but the CEO and the team did not manage it properly. So the number one reason is their incapability to manage money properly. Number two, there have been many out of the 90+%, many entrepreneurs never wanted to go through the steps in an organized manner. Each and every one of them wanted to become super rich. They compromised on the fundamentals of business principles. Build a product, identify the market, reach into the market before your competitors do with the right price. And third reason, which is what Amazon has cracked like nobody else in the world has ever done. Treat your customers well. That's one thing which Amazon does better than any other business. Money, greed, not treating the customers well. These are the three reasons why businesses fail, particularly the startups. You'll be shocked to know 75% of the businesses, the startups fail because of their incapability to manage money. While we have enough money available, while the unique idea is required to be the key, the founder's background becomes very important. The founders need to have a solid, robust background, which aligns itself to either the idea itself or converting that idea into a marketable business. So that's important, that's very important. And they need to bring in the right kind of technology. Today, most youngsters, what they want to do, they want to fit an aircraft engine onto a bullock cart and expect the bullock cart to fly. Never going to happen. A bullock cart will never fly. Even if you fit, the Rolls-Royce engine, which gets fitted onto the Airbus and the Boeing aircraft, and even the world's best fighter jets, they are not going to make a bullock cart fly. So a business idea, the business idea's implementation needs to be on the right technology. Don't over-engineer it, don't overcomplicate it, don't make it too simple so that it breaks. Even the most robust, we saw what happened the day before yesterday. Somebody lost $7 billion in 6 hours. Mark Zuckerberg. His 3 top offerings, was disrupted due to a tech glitch. That is what they are calling. So if it can happen to the best of the technology companies like Facebook, it can happen to anybody. Most of the startups don't do this right. No business idea can automatically on its own reach into a customer's hands. You require a right team to execute that idea. Most of the startup entrepreneurs do not know how to build a team. I do not know how many of you know Swiggy. That's one of the most successful startups we have in India. Simran, I'll come to you. Just please hold on. Let me complete this. One of the most successful startups in India. What they did, once they started growing, once they started scaling up, for managing key positions like their operations, like their logistics, like their people practices, like their marketing and onboarding of the various restaurants, they brought in industry specialists who are having experience of at least 15 years with an age of 40+. If you want to scale rapidly, if you want to grow rapidly, you need to build a robust building block. That is possible only by those people who have done it earlier. So building the right team was important. And that's why, Swiggy, based upon Swiggy's success, that is what Zomato also later copied. That is why today they are fighting with each other and competing with each other. They have, one of them have come up with an IPO, the other one is also actively looking at it. So building the right team is important. So guys, Simran, please hold. Let me summarize this one particular slide before I come to you. Enough and more money is available. Your idea is required to be unique. The founder's background is important. Use right technology and build right teams. Now, let me look at what is the question. Oh my God, there are so many questions. But sir, many companies are there who are actually copying, but they are $1 billion company. Yeah, did I say that ideas, when I say unique, that did I say that the idea needs to be your own? Walmart did not have, I keep taking Walmart's example because they have been the world's biggest retailer, and I do not know how many of you know. The Walmart founders, third generation today as a family is the richest family ever to have lived in the on the face of the earth, even richer than Elon Musk, even richer than Jeff Bezos. So even they were offering many things. What did Amazon do? Amazon also is trying to copy what Walmart did, but the differentiation which Amazon brought in was convenience, which Walmart did not do. After looking at the success of Amazon, now Walmart is also trying to do what Amazon is doing, providing that extra convenience on top of whatever else they have done. Yeah, what is the optimum age to begin teaching financial literacy to our children? Okay, this is, I never expected a question like this on this platform. Okay, the day you start teaching your child or any child A, B, C, and the day you start teaching them counting 1, 2, 3, that's the day when you start teaching them financial literacy. Financial literacy, is a very, very simple sounding term, but it means a hell of a lot. Ask your finance specialization colleagues, if you are not already a finance specialization student, Divya, as to what really is there in financial literacy. There is a hell of a lot. Earlier you start, better it is going to be. Managing money is important. And teach them as early as you can. Dayanand. Okay, I am from HL and hence you are placing this question. Enormous funds is available, even the technology attracts more and more. Even investors are looking faster return. Most of the conventional types of business like gear manufacturing or machinery related business take some time to get return as well as getting into the market. Why investors or banks doesn't have interest in funding such businesses? Okay. This question is multiple questions bundled into one. Now, let me tell you one thing very clearly. It's not about what is being done that's going to be automatically that's going to get you money. It's about how you do, I'm sure all of you would have heard of things like a business plan or a project report that is required to be made and then submitted to a bank for a term loan or for, when you're particularly asked a question like this, I presume that maybe you either have a hands-on experience, either you might have worked somewhere or your family is into that. I'm sure whichever way it is, you would have known this. You'll have to make a project report or a business plan and submit it to the bank for either your cash credit limit to be enhanced or your term loan to be given or any kind of additional bank guarantee limits or packing credit or any of those things are required to be given. Please understand one thing. I said money is available. I never said that money is available in an open place. Go pluck it as much as you want or pick it up as much as you want. You need to show that your team is capable of managing that money. I also told you, I thought you might have followed that, 75% of the failures is because of incapability to manage money. So you demonstrate with a track record during the past 3 years, this is what we have done. And during the next 5 years, this is what we are going to do. If your past 3 years track record is going to be good, since your particular question is about traditional manufacturing, machinery related business, I'm not getting into the startup mode. It definitely needs to have a past proven track record. In traditional businesses, a past proven track record is not existing, not available, not good enough, you're not going to get money. Nobody is going to fund fancy ideas. How do I find investors? Oh, they are available everywhere. Just look around. So long as your idea is unique and good, Chaitra, I promise you, you will find investors come running to you. Get your idea in place first. Get your idea unique first. Every young entrepreneur thinks that their idea is unique. And, let me tell you that, yeah, Mr. Sandeep is also typing something. So get your ideas going. If your idea is really good, well, you can reach out to many people. You can reach out to your own institute. You can reach out to me. Is it possible for me to manage both my personal finances and my business at the same time? Okay, Anupriya, girls are known to be better at multitasking, even though I would not advise multitasking. Please understand one thing. Uh, Managing money as a skill is exactly the same, whether it is for one's own personal finance or for business. If you have mastered one, you will be in a position to master the other equally well. Managing your personal finance very well. If there is a budget given to you, to be spent every month of, let's say, 20,000 rupees per month, get a saving of 10,000 rupees every month out of that and start investing in stock market. Gradually, you will start managing your personal finance better. And the 10,000 rupees every month you are going to invest in stock market is also gradually grow into a huge money. Your business is also going to be running. So it's very much possible. The answer is in the emphatic, strong yes. Ramesh is going for multiple lenders better than single lender to fund a blooming business. There is no one single answer for this. It entirely depends upon how much is the money that you want. And the very fact that you are talking about a lender, I assume that you are talking about loan. There are many other ways of raising money without taking a loan. For example, by giving equity. There are multiple other sources. So the whole point is about your business idea. Yeah, I'm very happy. I was talking to, Professor Ratna, and I was telling her if more questions come, it will be good. And I'm very happy that the team has done a great job in pushing you guys to ask questions. I'm really happy about that. Yeah, Arya, without money, how can we start entrepreneurship? I thought I very clearly showed the steps involved, Arya. Everybody wants money first and then start thinking about an idea. Wrong approach. Sure to fail. You will not only land yourself in a big mess, anybody who's giving you with that kind of a mindset, when I say you, a person with that kind of a mindset is also going to land themselves in soup. Get idea first. Your idea needs to be unique. That's the first and foremost. That's a starting point, not money. Money comes. Yeah, Anupriya is thanking. What nature of person makes a successful entrepreneur? Oh, wow. That's an awesome question. A person who never gives up. That's the kind of person that's going to become a successful entrepreneur. No entrepreneur has all the time succeeded in every one of their attempts. There are more failures than successes. I'm sure 85-year-old Warren Buffett. You ask him how many wrong decisions he has made. He has written multiple articles about that. So, well, never give up. Never, never, never give up. If you fall down 7 times, get up 8 times, and the 8th time you will make success. So never give up. That's the kind of person who will become successful entrepreneur. Founder's background. What does it stand in detail? Is education, experience, family he comes from? Okay, let me tell you. Family doesn't matter. When we talk about an idea in today's innovative startup world, family doesn't matter. In fact, if he comes from a business family, he or she comes from a business family, there is going to be all the time a pull back from the family. Why do you want to get into something which is unknown? We have our own family business. Why not you take that and make that grow? So that is not what it means. It means, for example, if somebody is starting, let me take a very crazy example, healthcare monitoring app, which is going to be running on top of your, Apple Watch or a Fitbit. You are building something running on top of that. The person who's building that app and the founding team needs to have a healthcare management background. They should not be plain simple IT coding guys. No. They need to understand if it is a healthcare related business, they should have the domain expertise, domain knowledge coming into the founding team. If there are 4 founders, at least one should be a doctor, healthcare practitioner. The other 3 can be other things. There should be at least one person who is going to be driving the core of the business with his or her expertise. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the founder's background. Connections do not count. Connections do not count. Your connections are never going to get you, far. It's only your ideas that are going to get you far. So if your idea is good, connections will automatically come. Connections will automatically come. Oh, we take everybody's questions. That's what questions are for. Okay. What are the basic points which have to be kept in mind while making a startup portfolio? Okay, don't make a startup portfolio. Start a startup. When you talk about a portfolio, you're talking about many things. If you start up many things, it's never going to be, getting the desired attention. Pick up one. Let it be laser sharp focus on that one idea. Keep evolving. That's the right way to do it. And the one thing that is required to be done in that startup mindset is the urge to run very fast. The urge to run very fast is the one thing that's very, very important. If you feel, most of the students, during the past decade, I would have addressed close to at least around 7,000-8,000 students. One thing that comes out of this, my personal experience with them is, they are basically lazy, waking up typically, if they're given a choice, around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and staying awake, till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock into the night. While that is okay, the point is a startup entrepreneur till they succeed should hardly sleep. That's the kind of thing that is required. So not a portfolio. How can we justify someone as a right team like the ones who have a master? Okay, in fact, this is a brilliant question, I must tell you. Surjit, I must tell you this is a brilliant question. In fact, this is what I told you also is required to build the right team. If a startup entrepreneur does not know how to build the right team, the startup entrepreneur or the founding team should get experts' help in recruiting the right team. Read up what Steve Jobs did. Read up what Mark Zuckerberg did. Read up what Elon Musk did. Read up what Jeff Bezos did. Read up what Larry Ellison did. Larry Ellison, you might not have heard. He, is the founder, CEO of the Oracle Corporation. Each and every one of these people had much senior people guiding them, helping them in their business thought, business idea, in recruiting people. Get that. Arya, what do I want my business to be when it grows up? Arya, the business is your child. What do you want your child to be when it grows up? One thing I can tell you, let the child not do a ferry trip from Bombay to Goa. Let that not be done. Your business needs to be an ethical business. Your business needs to be a business that takes care of the sustainability need of the Mother Earth. Your business needs to ensure that it generates enough revenue and profit so that a good amount of that can be used to grow your own business, plus create an ecosystem for others to grow. That's what typically I would advise, a business to be. Aman says, how would I become a right member of the right team? Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. I do not know, Aman, if you've played any games, particularly any team game. In a team game, if an individual is looking at all the time that individual's own glory, that particular individual might never fit into the team. We have an example in the name of Hardik Pandya. We have another example in the name of Krunal Pandya. And plus we have another example, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. You try to understand each and every one of these three people, how uniquely they contribute to the team in a manner where they put themselves first or the team first. You will get an idea as to what is it that we as individual members in a team should be doing and should not be doing. Speaking of building team, should lengthy experience in field be valued more than accomplishment without that experience? Okay, I'm very happy that you guys are using a lot of English words. This many number of words are not required. What is experience? If you want to talk about experience in number of years, which is what I assume you mean, should lengthy experience means. Well, number of years, if you talk about, probably some of the tables, chairs, and the trees will have a longer experience, longer life. That doesn't mean anything. They should have done things. They should have produced results. That is where capability comes in. That is where results come in. So when you talk about building a team, bringing in somebody with experience, it is not how many years they have spent in a role. What have they done in that role? Ultimately, the results they have produced, that is the key, not necessarily the duration. Now, what happens with a shorter duration? Their span of knowledge and the depth of knowledge tends to be limited. With a little larger experience, when I say little larger, I'm talking about 5 to 7 years of experience. They would have produced more results. They would have a larger span of knowledge and a larger depth of knowledge on many things. So that's what is needed. Amit, oh my God, I am really impressed with the teams coming up with questions. I'm really, really impressed. Any more questions? Let me close and come back in.
That's all for now, I think, sir.
That's all for now, I think. Okay, I must really appreciate Team Gibbs for ensuring that the students ask so many questions. Really, really appreciate it. We have limited time. Let me run through that. Guys, please look at this. It's important that you guys need to understand that. Money in startups, when you talk about managing money, importance of money, you require to break it down into 3 different phases. Initial investment, typically made by the founding team, initial revenues, and then multiple investment rounds. Quickly read this. Initial investment comes from your own key people, founders, friends, relatives, incubators, grants from governments and other business incubators, Kickstarter campaigns, Indiegogo campaigns. With all this, your final deliverable, your idea needs to generate initial revenue, which will establish proof of concept, customer acceptance, and the customers willing to pay you. And the customers who paid you earlier continue to pay you again and again. And you are achieving the break-even. Initial investment is recovered and they start making initial profits. Then the whole investing community will fall in love with you. They will offer you everything you want and more. Most of the businesses do not go here itself. Very few reach here. And hardly that 3-4% come here. That's a problem. And then you have all of these people available. And guys like me will connect you to each and every place. For me today, when you ask me what is my next 1 year's target, I have clients that are lined up for whom I need to help raise a minimum of $100 million. That's my task. Every week, I keep receiving at least 10, 12 mails saying that this is our idea, we need to talk to you, we want money. When I look at the 10, 12, hardly one is what I will pick up. The rest are all, they think that that's a unique idea without realizing that, without even doing a very basic Google check if there is something else already available and running, some already, required or not required kind. Everybody wants money. Everybody wants somebody else's money for them to enjoy. Life is never going to be easy that way. Never going to be easy that way. Reach here, you cross each and every one of these phases. Guys like me will get you millions of dollars in funding. I promise you that. Quickly, to summarize. IITs, IIMs have been known to be loved by all investors. All these are non-existent in most people. Non-existent. Build this. All budding entrepreneurs say that, oh, I want to go to, Monaco for my honeymoon. Nothing wrong. Go. Make money enough and more before that. Your offering should be built for growth. Unless and until your business grows, your value as an entrepreneur is not going to grow. Every business idea today needs to be around the mobile. You like it, you don't like it, you have no escape. The customer today wants this: faster, better, more value. I'm sure you would have known, both Amazon and Flipkart sale is on. Both of them are offering, crazy discounts on mobiles and laptops and all kinds of electronic gadgets and all kinds of things. And the customer today is spoiled for choice. They want faster service, better quality service, more value for their time and money. If a business is not able to provide this continuously every time, that business is going to fail. Never compromise on the quality of your service. Your first and foremost goal should be better than the best. To summarize, while money drives everything, money comes when you have all this. Money flows in automatically. It floods. I am under a discussion with an edutech startup. They are in the process of raising $1 million. And I have connected them with 3 different sources. We are today sitting comfortably and dictating terms with each and every one of them. This is the valuation we want. This is the kind of exit that we want. This is the kind of thing. So the point is that you have an offering which is of top quality. Then you have people in front of you. Otherwise, one might have to keep running from pillar to post. It is this that drives everything, not money. I promise you, money will come. Any more questions? Quickly. I think I was given on 1 hour's time. I think I finished that. Any questions? There is one question I'm seeing. Which site is most most popular?
It is SIT.
Writing articles on soft skills. www.google.com, enter. Over.
I think that's the most apt answer, sir.
Any questions? But I must tell you, the number of questions that came, I'm really, really impressed.
But sir, I still think money is important. Money is vital.
Who said money is not important?
Yes.
Did I say money is not important?
No.
I
But
never said
ideas
that.
ideas are important. Yeah, ideas
Ideas
will
only
invite
get
money.
money. You know, there
Yes.
are no free lunches, Professor Ratna.
Yes.
Nobody is going to open their purse if they don't see returns for them.
Yes. That's true.
It's the ideas that's going to, make people open their mind and their purse.
But I'm sure the kind of journey which we took in the last 1 hour, it's been, it gave the enormous amount of the information which I would say this generation of budding entrepreneurs, or I would say infopreneurs who are looking forward to build their empire, has to be very, very good at generating the ideas. The moment they have an amazing idea, things will fall into place if it is being taken care in the right direction. So I'm really happy and I'm privileged. I feel I'm privileged that I have been a part of this wonderful session, sir. So I would request the participants, in case if there is any other questions, I would request to post it a little faster. So Surjit says mesmerizing experience, sir. Thank you so much. So I hope all had a wonderful time being here. So, Ratna ma'am, I would request you to propose a vote of thanks to sir as well as the participants.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening once again. Dhanushkori sir, grateful thanks. Thank you for enlightening us about the importance of finance in starting a startup, and whether it is a start, it's immaterial, whether it's already an established one or a startup, you said. Now, thank you for all those useful tips and information and for taking up all the questions. On behalf of the team of GIBS Business School, Bengaluru, I extend our sincere thanks to you, Sir Dhanushkori, sir.
Most welcome. I really wish each and every one of us, and including me also in this, each and every one of us the best time ahead. And, India has not seen the best time yet. The best is yet to come.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And somebody was asking how to get an internship. Well, again, www.google.com. Guys, grow up. Don't expect things to be spoon-fed. You are there in PGDM courses. I think, masters, bachelors, whatever else apart. There is intern shala, there is many other things, and grow up, guys. I don't think you'll ask any of, okay, I think. All the best. I'm sure you guys will get what you want to get.
Yes,
there are enough avenues available. I'm sure you will all get that.
Sure, sir. We'll take it forward.
Sir have shared the details of sir being very, very active in most of the platforms. So in any case, if you want to reach sir, probably you can reach them on the links which has been given mentioned in the website, the screen. You can make a note and probably you can just check more information with it, sir.
In fact, I'm yet to make the YouTube channel alive. I'm yet to create a kind of a buzz before making that alive. The rest of the things are all anyhow there. When you live long enough, losing all the hair, when I look at Mr. Sandeep's head and mine in the same screen, I see the difference. So nice.
Sir, that has grown with the experience, sir, actually.
Yes,
thank you so much. If there is any questions, we'll quickly take it. Otherwise, have a great evening.
Yes, sir. So we are concluding. So thank you so much, sir, once again. For all those questions to take up and amazing answers they got with such examples and with such facts and figures like WeWork, Amazon, all these things are really it was wonderful to know. Thank you so much, sir.
Bye. Now.
I thank my team of GIBS for their extensive support and effort to be the best. Thank you, team GIBS. And a big thank you to the extended family of GIBS, that is our dear participants who never let us down, who always, will be in larger numbers with such amazing questions and participation. Thank you, dear participants. We are really obliged from your overwhelming responses. GIBS is known for sharing and it is known for its hospitality. Experience it by visiting our campus. Please do visit us, anytime. Do let us know how we can, take it forward. We are open for, we are open on all working days. So I bet that you will love the state-of-the-art corporate infrastructure, and also you will love meeting the team of innovative minds at GIBS who believes in spreading the power of positivity. Look forward for your visit. You can also watch the video of all the previous webinars in the YouTube of GIBS, and the e-certificate of this webinar will be sent to you through your registered mail ID, by 9th October, that is by day after tomorrow. And not to miss the upcoming webinars, our next webinar is on personality development and winning attitude by Mr. Aftab, the faculty of GIBS Finishing School, on 20th October at 5 p.m. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms. We are there as usual in all LinkedIn, Twitter, Telegram, Instagram, Facebook. So be with us always and have a great evening. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sandeep, sir. Thank you, Pradeep, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Dhanush, sir. It was really nice having you amongst us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, sir.